Alright everyone, let's look at the second breakout exercise that we have here. You're supposed to do this, so while I make this video, you can just pause it, attempt to do it. It must not be perfect, but I believe you have all the necessary knowledge and tools to be able to achieve this. So let's go through it. Let's see the instructions. So breakout B, mark up a formal letter. For this project, your task is to mark up a letter that needs to be hosted on a university intranet. The letter is a response from a research fellow to a prospective PhD student concerning the application to work at the university. To get started, you will need two files, CSS you need to include in your HTML and the raw text for the letter. Of course, I'm very aware that I've not taught you guys CSS yet. So you must not have the CSS, just do the HTML to the best of your ability. Second instruction, create a new HTML file using your text editor to do your work in. You don't need to know any CSS to do this assessment, you just need to put the provided CSS inside an HTML element. Use the W3C HTML validator to validate your HTML. So we have block or structural semantics. You should structure the overall document with an appropriate structure, including doc type and head, HTML and body elements. Very necessary. Our HTML document is not complete without a doc type, without the HTML, which is the root of the document, and without the head and the body element. The letter in general should be marked up with a structure of paragraphs and headings, with the exceptions of the below points. There is one heading, the RE line, and 3 second level headings. So note that while writing your code. The semester start date, study subject, and exotic dances should be marked up using an appropriate list type. The two addresses can be put inside paragraphs. The address element is not appropriate for them. Think about why. In addition, each line of the addresses should sit on a new line, not be in a new paragraph. So all you have to do is just break the paragraph, because they are all in the same paragraph, but they start on a new line. So we have inline semantics. The names of the sender and receiver and tail and email should be marked up with strong importance. The 4 dates in the document should be given appropriate elements containing machine readable dates. The first address and first date in the letter should be given a class attribute value of, but you don't have to do it exactly the same way it is written here, right? This is just a style, this is just a guide, right? It's just a guide. In programming, there's no one way to do something, as long as you arrive at the same results. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So you must not follow everything exactly as it is there. I just want your letter to look exactly like this, right? And I am very aware it will not look exactly like this because most of you do not know CSS yet, but I am curious to see what you are able to come up with. All right, so I want to see what you can do. So this is the letter we're supposed to replicate here. It must not even be as long as this. Most of this is not necessary information, right? So just focus on the addresses here, the title and the list. There are some little details I want to see, like this definition list here, this ordered list here, this unordered list here, this heading, the link, little things like that. It must not be exact replica, right? The structure is more important. So if you need to use this, I'll send this document containing all the breakouts to the group, so you can all try them out before this video is posted. So let's jump to, I've already done it, so let me show you what it looks like. So what I did last, this is it. So as you can see, it's heading here, address. Nothing too complicated, right? Just straight to the point. Maybe I'll just change a few things now, but let me walk you through the structure of this. This is the style, this is the CSS, so I'm just going to minimize it because I'm not talking about CSS yet. So for the head, we have a div header containing this, so let me make this strong. So and we have the other div. I believe I've explained what divs are. Divs are just used to create sections in a document. They don't carry any special meaning. So if you want to group different elements together, you put them in the same div. That's basically the function of divs. Okay, then oh, this looks good. This looks good. Let me just increase the space here. Yeah, I just want to change this. So I still need to change it. Perfect. This is what I want to achieve, because that's exactly how it is here, right? So let's go back and delete this. Paste it in here. What I'm basically doing is creating a definition list so that it looks exactly how it is in the document. So let's check this out. Perfect. This is it now. The last one. Perfect. So it's exactly how I want it to look. So let's go back here. Is there another thing that is not okay? Let's make this H2, 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 then H1. So I'll do that quickly. H2, 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 then this is supposed to be H1, not P. So H1, save this, go back to our letter, much better. I think this looks good. If I should shrink it, something like this. Yeah, this looks really good. Let me see if I can put it side by side. Okay, so everything looks the same. Okay, I feel like the space here is too much, so let me look into that. Where's the list? UL. Check the style. It's most likely. Yeah, this is better. Okay, what else? Yeah, that thing looks the same. Yeah, I think everything is correct. Everything looks the same. So that is basically it for breakout B. Alright, let's look at the last breakout. So this one is a bit more complicated than the previous ones that we've done. So for this breakout, the task is to take the content of the home page of a birdwatching website and add structural elements so you can have a page layout applied to it. It needs to have a header spanning the full width of the site, containing the main title for the page, the site logo, and the navigation menu. The title and logo appear side by side once styling is applied, and the navigation appears below those two items. A main content area containing two columns, a main block to contain the welcome text, and a sidebar to contain image thumbnails. A footer containing copyright information and credits. You need to add a suitable wrapper for the head, the navigation menu, the main content, the welcome text, the image sidebar, the footer. You should also apply the provided CSS to the page by adding another link element, blah blah blah. Hints and tips. You don't need to know any CSS, so the CSS will be provided. The provided CSS is designed so that when the correct structural elements are added to the markup, they will appear green in the rendered page. If you are getting stuck and can't research what elements to put to it, often helps to draw out a simple block diagram of the page layout and write on the element you think should wrap each block. So this is what we are supposed to replicate. This example here is bird watching site. So there's the title here, there's a logo here, navigation menu, heading here, some text, heading here and some images, then a footer. Alright, this is how it's supposed to be. So the most important thing here again is to get the structure right. The style must not exactly be the same, but the structure, what I mean is you can use other fonts, you can use other colors, you can use other images. In fact, what I did wasn't a bird watching, it's more like a butterfly watching site. So just things to note down: HTML5 introduced new structurally based elements, including the header, nav, article section, aside, and footer elements. All of these new elements are intended to give meaning to the organization of our web pages and improve our structural semantics. They are all block level elements and do not have any implied position or style. Additionally, all of these elements may be used multiple times per page, so long as the use reflects the proper semantic meaning. So this is just a skeletal framework of the elements used to achieve that design. We have the header, then the footer below section, and in the section we have an article, then we have an aside. So the block and inline elements that we keep talking about, another explanation. Most elements are either block or inline level elements. What's the difference? Block elements begin on a new line, stacking one on top of the other and occupy any available width. Block level elements may be nested inside one another and may wrap inline level elements. We will most commonly see block level elements used for larger pieces of content such as paragraphs. Inline level elements do not begin on a new line. They fall into the normal flow of the document, lining up one after the other, and only maintaining the width of their content, meaning they are just as large as the content within them. Inline level elements may be nested inside one another, however, they cannot wrap block level elements. We will usually see inline elements with smaller pieces of content, such as a few words, just like the example that I gave earlier. So let's look at what this will look like when you're done. So what I did using just some, this was when I was also learning, so thank God I found it. So you can also quickly just do something like this. It's not complicated, right? So I don't think something, yeah. So see, it's very short. Just have your HTML, then inside the HTML you can see there's a header, there's nav, there's section. Inside the section there's article, then there's aside, and there's footer. That's basically it. Right, and everything is basically inside one huge div called wrapper. Then the CSS is not also very long. We just have the body, text, style. So can go ahead and just replicate this in a matter of 30 minutes. You should be done. It's not. Just download your images. Let me show you the folder. So this is the folder. Butterfly watches. We have images. So the images that are used. Then we have the HTML and the CSS. So this shouldn't be hard for you to do, considering all that we've done so far. So like I said, the CSS doesn't have to be the best. You can even use AI for that, right? I just want to get the HTML structure right. That's the most important thing, because in our next lesson we'll be moving on to CSS, cascading style sheets. So we'll talk about CSS, what is CSS, history of CSS, background, CSS example. So yeah, we're getting to the fun parts now. We'll talk about CSS structure, how does CSS affect HTML, do some examples, how it works. So for now, my main concern is for you to understand the structure of HTML. If you can get that out of the way, the style is not really my main focus for now. So yeah, that's basically it from breakouts. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. Okay, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. As you can see, this is home, get started, photos, guests, forum. So I just want to see that everything is in the right place. That's all.